Welcome back to another episode of Flipping Tables. We have yet another game from Thames and Kosmos, again in the Brainwaves series. This one is The Wise Whale, another set of memory games. This is a little bit different than the one we talked about previously, which was The Astute Goose. I almost forgot the name. This is The Wise Whale. Again, scientifically recommended. This was actually worked on with neuroscientists to help develop memory. This is a 1 to 4 player game and is ages 8 and up. It's very easy to learn, but very hard to actually get really good at, to master.
Yeah, this one here is probably one of the easier games we've ever played from a concept.
It is.
It is a simple 3x3 grid.
3x3 grid, just like a memory game. So you set up your cards in a 3x3 grid, and there's, as you can see, these are like little sea creatures. You have your secondary deck on the side here, and you study these cards. You have to try to figure out where the cards are. Depending on your difficulty level, you may remove some of the sea creatures. You may remove some of the colors to make, so there's less cards to have to remember.
7 colors, I believe 7 creatures.
7 creatures, 7 colors, and it's just creature and color, okay?
Yep.
And there is a variant that uses the die, which we'll get into in a moment. But the basic gameplay is you study the cards. You try to remember what the creature is, what the color is. So we've got the blue starfish. We've got the green squid head guy.
Anemone.
Oh, an anemone. Okay.
People don't know that I'm not pronouncing that right, but it's a thing.
If you're playing Animal Crossing, you know what that is. Of course, we've got a sea turtle, a blowfish, and a seahorse. So once you've studied the cards, you flip them over, and you try to remember where they are.
And what's where?
And then once you flip them over, you start. So Tico would start. He'd flip over one card.
So I have to remember.
He has to try to match either orange or the pufferfish.
Right.
With one of these cards. So then you look at it yourself. Are you correct?
I am not.
Okay, so I think it's gone now,
It's
right?
gone. This one it goes to the bottom of the deck, so it may come back up. And
this
one
card
here
now goes in its place.
Yeah, so that's one of the hardest parts about this, is that you're constantly replacing and refreshing what's out there. So you may have remembered where something was 5 cards ago, but it might not be there anymore because somebody like me made a mistake.
So then it's my turn. I flip over this card, and I'm trying to match purple or whale. Now, I know there's no whales on.
Or is there?
Or is there? And now I have to try to remember where there's a purple. Honestly, I didn't look at it. I'm just going to guess. Oh, look, there's a purple dolphin. So I take this card into my hand, and this purple whale now goes in its spot.
Yeah.
And then the play continues. That is the extent of the game. You play all the way through until these cards are gone.
Yep.
And then you add up your
victory points.
The victory points, the number of cards you have in your hand, and that's what you win. The variant of it is, Tico, you flip over your card.
Yep.
It's a yellow or a pufferfish, but then you roll the die. So he would have to find pufferfish because he got the whale here. Or if you rolled the circle, you would then find the color. You'd have to match the color instead.
Is a pufferfish.
So he did it.
So yay.
And now the yellow pufferfish goes back.
Yeah, it goes back.
That is the extent of the game. It's a very simple game to learn. And if you've played Memory as a kid, you know how this game works.
Yeah.
You've played this before. But the combination of color and fish, adding the dice roll in,
and the refreshing of the cards, like when you're swapping these things out, then
changing
the
whole thing as you go. You're constantly having to remember new cards in new positions, and that's where the difficulty comes. And just like the Astute Goose before it, there is a pad of paper that comes in where you can record your score and see if you're improving as you play through the game. So again, that is in the Brainwaves series of games from Thames and Kosmos. That is The Wise Whale. If you have young kids, I think it's great for young kids.
Yeah.
It is great for adults, but I think the older we get, like us, our brains don't work quite as well. But it was still a fun game to play.
This would be a great game for parents to play with their kids because it gets them involved.
It also makes the kids feel good because they'll beat the parents easy.
Easily, they will beat the parents.
I highly recommend it. In fact, It's scientist recommended.
Yes, one whole scientist has recommended it.
So check out Brainwaves from Tays and Cosmos at your local game store now. Take care, everybody.
I guess.